Hey guys, Wiki here as usual. Just doing a little first person dive in the pound for you to let you check things out from my perspective as far as what I've been doing for work lately. And I've already got videos of doing this, but not from this angle with the GoPro strapped to my head. But you can see this is just us getting ready to start working, and we've had a rough winter. We still got some ice cakes kicking around in the pound there. There's just me getting dressed, putting my weight belt on. Our trusty float dog Brady getting all rigged up. Need help getting dressed. Make sure everything's all rigged up right. Like I said, we've had one of the record coldest months for February and for March here in Maine, so we set records since they started keeping records. I think it was 1932 or something they started keeping records. It's been the coldest one ever recorded, so been a pretty bad one. We got started a little late, but here we are. We've been at it for since the first week of March now, so getting the lobsters out of the pound. We've had a good price, so that's been good for them guys. And anybody still fishing right now had damn near a $9 a pound lobster price right now, so it's been good. We always have 2 divers go. Usually do 2 to 3 tanks a day, depending on the order that we have to fill. But we're doing a low water tank here, so not much water in there right now. We're dealing with about 6 to 12 feet, so you can see the outboards even riling it up right there. When I say riling it up, stirring up the bottom. But anyway, we're finishing up and getting our fins on and getting ready to hop in the boat here. My father is the other diver. He's been doing it longer than I have, but this would make the over 15 years that I've been doing this job. I've done every job on the float, from running the boat to banding lobsters to picking lobsters, and finally graduated to diving once I was about 16, 17 years old. You can see the ice makes for trouble and the just moving around, but see the boat gets hung up a little there. See in the background there, my father just jumped in right off the float. His dog Brady gets a little freaked out, starts whining whenever he's right there. He's our little float dog, our little mascot, I guess. Like I said, these are low water tanks, and you know, obviously less water in there, but on the high water tanks you can deal with as deep as 18 feet, about 21 feet on a real large tide. But okay, here we go. Make sure my camera's still in place here. I was more nervous about losing it off my head than anything, but everything seemed to work out alright. Right in front of the gate here is kinda, I jumped a little too close to the gate. Lobsters tend to accumulate here though when the tide rushes in, next to that gate, it's the biggest opening. When you get in there right after that tide starts coming, they are just piled up in there. But as you can see, they're just kind of milling around at this moment. One of the things I'm showing you, they're almost camouflaged out there. You can just barely see them, but when they have that little layer of silt on them from the bottom, they blend in. But when you grab them, they get cleaned off. That little bit of ryle comes off of them. They're fairly dormant right now, but we're down below halfway in the pound. We started with on paper was supposed to be about 140,000 pounds, so we're down below halfway now. So this is a little point I like to make about points of interest. You can see these, what I like to call a point of interest, like underneath this little slab of concrete, there's always a lobster hiding. Nice select hiding under there. Select being a larger lobster, over 2 pounds. They always get the best hiding spots. But for the most part, these lobsters are just kind of out in their holes, as I like to call it, these little craters that they make. They hide, wherever they can, but see them hiding under these pipes here. Any piece of kelp. There's a cinder block there. He was making a little home there. These are the holes I was talking about, guys, these craters that the lobsters actually form. They do little circles and use their tail, their swimmerets, their tail feathers, so to say, on the bottom of their abdomen, and they form these little craters. So it's kind of like being on the moon down there. There's little holes everywhere where they've made just to kind of rest in. There's a little less for craters here, because in this particular part of the pound that I'm swimming in, it's harder bottom, so they're not able to make the craters quite as easily. I don't know if that's why or what. You can see there's clam shells and rocks and things mixed in this area, but in the real muddy, softer parts of the pound, they make craters up to 1 foot deep. They're like little holes for them, so it gives them a little protection. You can see they go right in there. The deeper the hole, sometimes you can have 5 or 6 lobsters just kind of laying in there. But see, there's multiple lobsters here and there where I'm picking. There's 2 right here coming out in one hole, but I like it like that because I can grab them with one reach. Grab 2. I try to grab 2 to a time. Make for quicker picking. See, some of them are aware of me. They're putting their antennas up. For the most part, they're fairly dormant. We're dealing with a water temperature of about 36 degrees in there today. When we started, we were about 26 degrees. That sucked. But just kind of showing you guys what's going on. I know that here I'm showing the water temperature. You can see in that small gauge, it's right around 36 degrees. Here I am done with that basket, surfacing. You can kind of hear the boat, the outboard, patting around up on the surface there. Takes me about 10 to 12 minutes to fill a basket, give or take 10 to 14. That first basket I started out with was a 4-foot basket. The others are all 42-inch baskets, so that one takes a little longer to fill, but it holds about 225 pounds. 200 to, well, we did have, I filled it once this year, it was 250 pounds, but so you figure he's heisting up on the boat about 2.5 crates of lobsters. And that heads back to the float to be processed, graded out, sorted and crated up, ready to be shipped. Our main distributor, or market, I guess I should say, is Stephen Barrett. He's a guy from Connecticut, and these lobsters end up going everywhere from New York, Boston, places in New England, to as far as they've been shipped to China. So if we could just get half of every person in China to eat one claw, we wouldn't be able to feed we wouldn't be able to supply the whole entire country. So we're hoping they get a taste for our lobsters and our product and keep on buying more this year. Out of our roughly 120 million pounds we caught this year, well, I say this year, but for 2014, 14%, 12 to 14% were shipped to China, which was up from about 0.06% the year before. So I don't know about any of you other fishermen if you happen to be watching this, but I'm hoping that number keeps climbing, because I think that could help our price out quite a bit. There I am, hamming it up for the camera, taking it off, and this is where I actually turn you into a lobster. You get to go in the basket with the lobsters. There you go. This is what it feels like if you're one of them. Had to jump ahead there a little bit to where the boats come into. You can just barely see that movement. They're all kind of moving around a little bit in there. Here's the basket getting hauled up. Kind of a cool shot. And they're headed back to the float to be sorted. Made it back to the float here. And then they found it. They found me in there. He gives and chucks me in, but anyway, so just to give you a little shot. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Gonna try to do a few more, but anyway, share with your friends. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as usual. The Wakey 420. Thanks for watching, guys.